All right, so let's talk about Trump's upcoming inauguration on January 20th. Well, that's actually a big deal, right? I mean, not just because it's the day he officially becomes president again, but also because of all these international leaders and representatives he's inviting to attend. Like, wow, this is something that hasn't really been done before. You know, the tradition has been more of a keep it American kind of event. But Trump, well, he's all about shaking things up. You know, the fact that China is sending a special representative, that's pretty unprecedented. So, here's the thing. Normally, China would just send their ambassador to the US for something like this. But this time, they're sending a special rep. Gee, that's a major shift. It's almost like they're signaling something, you know? The official statement from China talks about fostering mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation with the US. Yeah, it's all about playing nice on the surface, but let's not forget the context. The US-China relationship right now is kind of complicated, to say the least. Actually, some might say it's at one of its most challenging points in decades. Now, let's dig into this whole invitation thing. Back in early December, Trump's team sent out the invite. Like at first, they were aiming super high, hoping that maybe China's top leaders would attend. But let's be real. Trump's team probably knew that wasn't going to happen. It's classic Trump, you know? He's always about starting negotiations at a ridiculously high level so that the actual result feels like a win. By inviting China's top leadership, the hope was to get at least a special representative instead of just the ambassador. And yep, that's exactly what's happening now. So Trump gets to say, hey, I managed to do what no other president could. Actually, it's kind of genius in its own way. Think back to Trump's 2017 visit to China, the red carpet treatment, the whole 9 yards. That visit wasn't just diplomacy, it was a spectacle. And now, with this inauguration, it's like Trump's turning what's traditionally been an all-American ceremony into something that feels, well, international. Leaders from Italy, Argentina, Hungary, Japan, India, and Australia are on the guest list. If it weren't for the Russia-Ukraine situation, you could probably bet someone like Putin or Lavrov would have been there too. I mean, Trump loves this kind of grand stage where everyone's watching. So, yeah, China sending a special rep isn't just about politeness. It's also a chance to gauge where the new administration is headed. Trump said a lot of tough stuff about China, but honestly, it's still up in the air how his actual policies will pan out. Like, are we talking 25% tariffs or are we going all the way up to 60%? Those numbers aren't just stats. They're game changers for businesses and the economy. Speaking of policies, let's talk about the potential players in Trump's cabinet, like Marco Rubio, who's practically confirmed as Secretary of State. Rubio's been pretty hawkish on China, especially when it comes to Taiwan. But here's the thing. I've got, you know, some pretty big business interests in China. So yeah, Rubio's approach could seriously clash with folks like me who see China as a key partner. I mean, Taiwan is a hot button issue. And yeah, I've said before that Taiwan is part of China. It's not just politics. It's about maintaining stability for global supply chains. Like if you're working with suppliers in Taiwan, you've got to think ahead, relocate production, mitigate risks, that kind of stuff. And wow, the stakes are high. Unless there's some kind of agreement for special envoys, Rubio or anyone else in his position might find themselves completely shut out of China. That's a pretty big deal. Anyway, it's worth noting how Trump operates when it comes to his inner circle. His first term saw a revolving door of officials, right? People thought they could influence him, but no, Trump values loyalty over expertise. If someone tries to steer him in a direction he doesn't like, they're out. So yeah, the dynamics between Trump, his team, and his decisions on China are going to be fascinating to watch. Now, back to the broader picture. Trump likes to think big. His first term had its share of surprises. And this term, well, it's shaping up to be just as unpredictable. Whether it's dealing with Russia, handling the Ukraine situation, or navigating China relations, it all comes down to what Trump feels like doing in the moment. And honestly, that's both exciting and a little nerve-wracking. So, this inauguration is more than just a ceremony. It's a stage, a signal, and maybe even a test for how Trump plans to engage with the world in the next 4 years. Let's see how it all plays out.